Hello everyone, I'm Lu Xuan. You can also call me Leila, and I'm a junior student at Wenchuking University. I came from Anhui Province, and today I'm glad to give a presentation about my research. My research topic is about Louis Burgess' book, A Universal History of Informing, and my research subject will focus on one of 7 stories, Mock Eastman, Purveyor of Inequities. So let's move on research part. For this research, I put forward a hypothesis. Louis Burgess has a prejudice against the Jewish to carry out this research. And for my study, there are some limitations worth noting. First is sample size. The environmental results of the study apply only to a single person and not to large groups. And next is the bias. Researchers maybe have their own biases which can affect the design and interpretation of the research and or outcomes, which can lead to distorted results or inaccurate conclusions. And the last is subjective. We know that research involving a person's thought is always subjective and influenced by a person's background and experience, so which can affect the validity of the research. And before showing the evidence to prove it, I first give a brief introduction to the background and the protagonist of the story. The background is about New York. From 1870 to 1920, New York was an extremely turbulent area. The government at that time was in collusion with the guns, and the society was full of corruption and crime, and the large number of refugees entered New York at that time. So the society in New York was in chaos. And about our protagonist, Mock Eastman, was a leader of the Eastman gang, who was born in Edward Eastman, and he has lots of names. He's been a retailer, gangster, and soldier. Also, from Asbury's book, we know that Mock Eastman is a Jewish. And then I will prove this hypothesis from 4 aspects. First, Burgess used hyperbole to build the image of the Mock. For example, compared with the original text and Asbury's book, we can find that there are more adjectives like plentiful, broken, and burial, and show some short sentence in Burgess' description, especially focusing on Mock's physical features, which makes his image uglier. Also, Burgess likens Mock's head to the shape of a bullet, which is more in line with the identity of the gangster and reinforces the public's stereotype of the gangster. And next, the following shows the real appearance of Mock. We can see that Mock is not as ugly as Burgess described. In the picture on the left is the character of the Mock in the film Guns of New York in 2002, and the image is also a typical gangster image. Therefore, I think the above description of Mock's appearance by Burgess is to create an ugly and monstrous Mock, and there is a certain prejudice against Mock. At the same time, because Mock is Jewish. Besides, there is also another rhetoric to prove. From these 2 pictures, we can find that, compared with the source, Burgess added many descriptions of the men who fought in the war, like tobacco smoke and alcohol, and colored bands, shameful disease, tooth decay, complaints of the respiratory trees or kidneys. Compared with the original source, Burgess had many of these, and these descriptions refers to the roguey image of the guns. Also, I think Burgess' narrative design is very good. He uses the rhetorical device of the contrast, and his narrative sequence in the story makes Mook's love of keeping cats and small animals contrast with the exaggerated poetry of Mook as a vicious and ugly traditional gangster. Moreover, Burgess created a cut around Mook's body, which reflects his sadness, and Burgess thinks that his sadness compares with the evil of the Jewish gum. So above all, this is my rhetorical argument that Burgess is biased against the Jewish. In a service of American attitudes, and next is a survey of American attitudes towards Jews in 1930s and 1940. The raw states showed that 88% idea of Jews immigrating. So when Burgess wrote this book, society was prejudging Jewish, so Burgess may also have had prejudice against the Jews at that time. And in Burgess' works, the positive description of Mook was deleted. Only the ugly part was retained when Burgess created the image of the Mook Eastman, so which also provide the Burgess had prejudice against the Jews. He just want to keep the bad part of the Mook and let most of the people think Mook is a bad guy. And for the last part, conclusion, there are 4 evidences to prove the hypothesis. First is about rhetorical styles. Burgess uses hyperbole, parallelism, and contrast to emphasize the better side of Mook Eastman, especially since 100 gangsters gathered, they're almost Jewish. And next is about research. Research shows that in that time, Jewish refugees were not welcomed in 1930 to 1940s, which is the time that Burgess wrote this book. So in that time, Burgess maybe have the bias with Jewish. And next is Roosevelt politics. He didn't help the Jewish enter the U.S., so maybe people think that if the president doesn't let these refugees in, they must be harmful to us, so Burgess will discriminate because of this. And finally, and most obviously, Burgess removed Sperry's positive description in the original text, and they only kept the better description of the Mook Eastman, so which further confirmed Mook's prejudice against the Jewish. So, I think my hypothesis was built. Louis Burgess has a prejudice against Jewish. And here are my reference. Okay, this is the draft of the research. If you are interested in my content and the organization, you can click this link, and I will also put this link in the YouTube.